Welcome to the Chelsea Fans Channel. We are here for part 2 of our mini-series on our youth hottest developments. This is the midfield. Make sure that you check out our defensive one that went out a little while ago. I'm joined by my dear friend Richard Amofa.
Hello,
Richard,
mate,
thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
You're too kind. This is a man who I'm sure many of you know, but if you haven't seen part 1, Richard, just have a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I run a website called Off the Post News. We focus on the development of young players. So we do news, views, and also interviews as well. So we've done a few of the young Chelsea lads. And I'm also at the Telegraph as well. So try and keep an eye on both, and yeah, let me know what you think.
And crucially, he was a youth player. I used to play with him. He is brilliant. He really can play. Just so you know, so this is the midfield. We've got it down to a top 5. Just to avoid any controversy, out-and-out wingers are going to be counted as forwards. Right, number 5 on our hottest prospects list for midfielders is Mason Mount. I think he's a great player. What are your feelings towards him?
Yeah, he's a great little number 10, really. Yeah. What I like about him is that he likes to play forward. You see a lot of these number 10s now, they're very focused on trying to create, but he likes to get on the end of his pass and score goals as well. He's always on a half turn, always looking to make something happen, and he's a very vital component of their team.
Yeah, I went up to Manchester recently for the first leg of the final, and he scored up there. And I thought he looked brilliant. I really think he had a good game. He took the goal perfectly. I like what I see. Do you see him having any opportunities in the first team this year?
That's that $1 million question, isn't it? You can say that about
almost all of them.
All of them, to be fair. Again, he's definitely got the quality too, and he's got the end product, and he's got the temperament as well. So, listen, all you need to do is give him a chance and see. And then, the manager doesn't think he's ready, then maybe put him on loan. But you don't know unless you try.
Absolutely. Do you know, just in case I'm sure that the majority of our viewers will know exactly who Mason Mount is, but in case some of our viewers aren't aware, is there a player who they would know, who perhaps his style reminds you of?
I would say if you're talking Premier League, maybe perhaps a David Silva type player in terms of brilliant in tight spaces, always happy to receive the ball in the back foot, which is important, and just is a creator, loves creating. Someone like Mkhitaryan as well, perhaps in Dortmund, again, loves picking up the ball in the hole and driving forward, and always, every time he gets in the ball, he's always looking to make something happen. He's never... there's always a purpose to his play.
Yeah,
it's
really lovely to see. Number 4, and this is a dear favourite of mine, as I'm sure many of you know who have watched this channel, well, basically more than once. If this isn't your debut on the channel, you'll know that I love this guy. I'm, of course, talking about Charlie Colkett. Do you love him as much as I love him?
I think it's mutual. Definitely mutual. This is a talent. I love a left-footed players always seem to look nicer, don't they? But
every left-footed player always has a very sweet left foot.
Yeah,
you can say that about any left-footed player.
Yeah,
sweet left foot.
And that's kind of best way to describe it. But if him's very silky, runs the game really. Very intelligent player. Great passing range, and you saw in the UEFA Youth League final as well, can score a goal as well.
It's nice. I've got a lot of time for midfielders who, that knack of arriving late, and the ball somehow lands at their feet, and they've got acres of space around them. There's 10 people in the penalty area, and not anybody within 5 yards of them. It's a great gift, isn't it?
100%.
And he's got this.
Definitely. And also when he's on the ball, he always seems to have so much time.
Yeah.
He makes so much space for himself and keeps the ball moving, which is really important.
Yeah, he seems to have all the right attributes. Is there anybody that he reminds you of? What kind of midfielder who is slightly more well known would he?
He does remind me a lot of McEachran. When I first saw him, I was like, okay, this is
right. Okay, let's hope.
But if we can progress it a bit more, maybe someone like Verratti.
Yeah.
Kind of a diminutive holding midfielder, but can control a game with his passing and his movement.
I think the Verratti thing is actually a really good shout. For me, I like that late into the box thing. Touch of Frank for me.
Yeah.
Touch of Lampard, isn't it? Just to have that knack of arriving at the perfect time. Can you see him having any chance of getting in the first team next year?
You'd like to think so. If you look at the midfielders who played this year, someone like Matic, who is a great kind of person that you can learn from, if you can be in and around him more often and kind of learn the kind of defensive side of his game, because we all know how good Matic can be on his day. He's in with a chance. He's definitely got the quality to.
Yeah.
He's definitely. The game wouldn't pass him by, but again, it's just a case of giving him that chance. Yeah, of course.
See, I think somebody like Colkett really does have a big opportunity next year, just because I follow him on Instagram and all that. And he does really seem to have the right approach. He seems to be very driven, very down to earth, very humble. Seems to be very good family.
Yeah.
I think he has all the right attributes. So if he can keep focused and keep progressing, I think he could have a really big future.
Yeah,
at Chelsea.
definitely. Like you said, very focused, very humble, and they're the attributes that you want, especially in a young player.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. I mean, just signed a 4-year deal as well. So the future's looking bright for him.
Yeah.
He can take it.
And us if it goes.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Right, number 3. I'm going to put forward Lewis Baker. He's been doing some wonderful things at Vitesse. Can you see him having a future at Chelsea next season?
100%. I mean, this is a guy who technically is up there with one of the better players in the country, let alone just within the Chelsea youth team. I mean, this is someone who's real talent and can definitely go all the way.
When you see what's happened at Tottenham, you know, when Tottenham will say, given somebody like Kane a chance, somebody like Dele Alli a chance, Lewis Baker definitely has the minerals to be that kind of player for Chelsea, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen someone at that age be so two-footed and accomplished with both feet. You know, this guy will take a free kick with a left foot, then a corner with his right foot, all in the same minute. You know, this is someone who, eye for goal, can score goals and also create as well. And like you said, you throw him in, he's definitely got the confidence and the ability to do what he needs to do. He's
done very well at Vitesse. He's gone well over there. They like him.
Yeah, I mean, they really like him. He scored quite a few goals out there as well. And again, playing men's football is only going to make him stronger mentally and physically, so he'll come back a man.
So what kind of player does he, just in case people aren't aware of who Lewis Baker is, I'm sure there's very few of you, but just in case, some people don't follow the youth football as much as we do, does his style remind you of anyone? Can you give somebody, who does he remind you of?
It's a massive compliment here, and I might get a bit of stick for it, but I would go as far as saying he can be like a Thiago Alcantara type player in terms of the way he can control a game.
Right.
Very skillful.
So he'll dictate the tempo of a game?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, from the midfield, the pace, you said the tempo, and, getting the ball forward and also scoring goals. Like he scored a goal for England, the 21s yesterday. Again, getting on the end
Do
of
me
it.
one favour, just say that again, but don't say yesterday. He scored the other day.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Recently scored.
Recently scored.
Yeah, just literally that again. You could just drop an image of him in a Free Lions shirt.
Yeah. And yeah, he scored for England, the 21s recently. Which again is important for him, to get on the score sheet and start, getting more goals as well.
Right, so the future's very bright for this lad.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's get him back in the Chelsea shirt, eh? Number 2, and it brings me to what is generally perceived to be the jewel in the crown of this Chelsea's youth team. That is, of course, Casey Palmer.
Yeah.
How big a fan are you of him?
Oh, massive. I mean, you've seen from what he can do, the goals he scored in the past couple of seasons. Absolute joke, really, if you put it down to it. This is the real talent you've got in your hands at the club, and it's one to look out for.
Really? Can you see him making it into Conte's first team next season?
I would like to, but, if we're being realistic here, he is probably a loan spell away, maybe a period at Vitesse.
So we put him on ice for a year?
Yeah, but I mean, I'd like to see him play now. I mean, he's been in and around the first team already. So maybe perhaps loan, just to get some more men's football experience, then come back and firing.
Right. Who does he remind you of? Is there anybody who's made it?
I would say a Kaká type. Just the way he can score goals from the attacking midfield position, I think, and the type of goals he scores as well. I mean, they're all long ranges, phenomenal. He's a great shooter, great passing attributes as well, and so much energy. He's quick, strong as well, and I mean, Kaká was all of those things. If he can go on to that similar kind of trajectory, who knows?
A wonderful thing, wouldn't it? And finally, number 1 on our list of midfielders is Jeremy Boga. How big a fan are you of him?
Yeah, this guy is my favourite.
Really?
By a mile. I wouldn't. No amount of superlatives, I'd say, be able to describe this kid. I think he's phenomenal. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you see him being in the first team next season?
I'll be very disappointed if he's not. I think he's ready. He's had a loan at Rennes this year. He's impressed there, done really well.
Do they like him? Are they happy with his services?
I mean, they really liked him. I mean, he was a regular starter, or at least, come off the bench, and making an impact. And that's what you want a loanee to do. And that's definitely what he's capable of doing.
Oh, wonderful. Who does he remind you of? Is there anybody who's made it big?
Well, I mean, you've got Eden Hazard, which is there in terms of his dribbling style. No centre of gravity, weaving in between bodies, and obviously getting goals as well. So I'd say you can go along that line. It's that good.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it, to have another Eden Hazard on the bench, and then potentially bring on a Boga.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that'd be frightening for everyone else.
Yeah,
really.
Fullbacks would be terrified. Wonderful thing. Right, that concludes our top 5 midfielders. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, why not click the subscribe button right now? Go on, you Blues. Welcome to Backpage Blues. I'm joined by the man of the moment. And if you don't know why he's the man of the moment, you will find out soon enough. I'm, of course, joined by Charlie, the Hurricane Skinner from the Mail Online. How are you?
I'm woefully underdressed, actually.